channel. It's Michelle.
And this is Carlos.
And today we're going to be doing a mukbang, something, whatever it's called. I don't know how you pronounce it the right way. I've heard it so many different ways. But today we're going to be doing a mukbang with pizza. And we're going to be telling you our love story and how we met and first impressions and our future plans. You ready? Okay, well, don't mind us.
So we got some pizza. Tell them what kind of flavor pizza we got.
So we got pizza, and this is my favorite kind of pizza, pepperoni and mushrooms. We were actually gonna order from one of the Pizza Huts and they were out of mushrooms, so you best believe we drove a couple more minutes to go get another pizza with mushrooms. Okay, so I'm gonna get my cheese stick. I have some cheese sticks over here, some breadsticks over there, and our wings. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get this story started. I was so hungry already.
Same.
Okay, so first we're going to tell you how we met, and I'm going to start. I'm going to give you a little bit of background as to how this happened. So before I met Carlos, I was actually a very lonely, sad girl. I remember I would sit with my roommate and then I would tell her like, oh, I just want to find somebody already. And like, our time at the university was coming short. We were about to graduate soon, and we still, like, I still hadn't found anybody, and it was just a very lonely time for me in my life. And I remember that I started getting like very anxious and very upset, and I remember that during like my breaks or weekends I would go to LaGrange to my family, and I would just sit there and I would cry and I would tell them like, I still haven't met anybody and I'm about to graduate, and as far as my aspirations and what I want to do in life, like, I knew what I wanted to do, but I just wanted to have somebody there, to be there for graduation, to be there for all my big moments in life. And so I was just starting to get really upset. And I remember that my grandma, she told me, she sat me and she told me, hey, you know what, we're gonna be praying for this. And she said, make me a list with every quality you want in a man, or the qualities that you want, that you're looking for in a man, and I'm going to pray on that petition. Sorry, this wing. And I remember that at the moment, I just looked at her and I thought to myself, and I was like, you know what? I don't know. I didn't doubt God, but I was like, this, it seems too good to be true, to that I'm gonna write this list and then this perfect man is going to appear to me. So, being the hard-headed that I am and was, I let some time go by and I didn't make my list. And then I remember one day I was in my apartment and I was just feeling very lonely and very upset. And I started praying to God. And I was like, you know what, God, I believe in your timing and I believe in what you have for me. So I started writing my list. And I've kept my list very safe and secure. But today I put it out and Ollie started biting it and he messed it up. But this is my list, and this is a list that I wrote on March 28th, 2018. And it's titled My Future Husband. And I had put 9 qualities. I don't know why I chose the 9, but I chose 9 qualities and 9 things that I looked for in a man. And I'm not gonna tell you just yet. No, I'm kidding. And these are the 9 qualities that I put down. So number 1, of course, my number 1 is that my future husband must love God more than anything else, and he must be Christian or a server of God. Number 2, he must be Hispanic. I said or can be mixed with white. That was an exception. 3, colored eyes or brown. 4, medium build, because that's just my preference of body type. And I said that he must be taller than 5'7", but no taller than 6 feet. How tall are you?
Like 5'8".
Wow. Number 5, very handsome. Number 6, he must love me endlessly and without limits. Number 7, must be romantic, and he must love to travel, because of course I love to travel. And I'm a hopeless romantic, so I had very high expectations. Number 8, he must have a career or a career in the making. And number 9, he could not be older than 28 years old. And in the end, I put, God, you know exactly what you have for me. And
so that was, when did you write this?
So that was March 28th, 2018. And that was the petition that we were all praying for. My mom was praying, my aunt was praying, my grandma was praying. We were all praying for this petition. And so that was the background of me. And this is how it all happened. It was November 10th. I remember I was in my apartment, in my room, and I was looking up churches around the area. I had previously been going to another church, but I was looking for a Hispanic church or in Spanish language, because that's how I had been raised, and that is what I was desiring in my heart, for something more like home. And so I remember that I typed in iglesias cristianas around me, or Christian churches, and the first church that popped up was an Assemblies of God church, which is where I had been going in LaGrange. So I was like, wow, like that's the first church that popped up, and it was 6 minutes from my apartment. It was literally down the road. And I remember I called my mom, and my dad was there too, and I was like, hey, so there's a church like 6 minutes away, and I'm scared to go by myself, but should I go and stuff? And like, being my parents, as impulsive as they are and how they are, they were like, go, you need to go, like just go. Like, if you think it'll be good for you, you should go, and you can do it, you know, be brave and go ahead and go. What, is it good?
Yeah, it was good.
You're just listening to me talk, huh, while you're eating?
Mm-hmm.
And so that night, I was like, you know what, I am gonna go. I'm gonna go to this church, and I'm gonna see how it goes. And sure enough, the next day, I go to this church. The church itself was amazing. The service was great. And then I remember, because they have Sunday school in the morning from
before the service.
Yeah, Sunday school from 10 to 11, and then from 11 to like 1 they have the service. And so I had gone in the morning to the Sunday school as well, and then like around 11, whenever the church was about to start, or the service, I remember I looked to the side and I saw this guy, you know, with a girl. And I remember I didn't see his face completely because he was looking down, but from what it looked like, you know, he was dressed nice with his little cowboy boots and everything. So I remember I saw, and I was like, oh, like he looks nice, and his haircut, everything looked nice, but I didn't see his face. But I was like, oh, but he was with that girl. So I was like, oh, but he has a girlfriend. Not that I was looking, but they were right there. So we went about the service and all that. And then at the end of the service, a lot of people from that church, they actually came up to me, like students from A&M, and they were telling me that they were students too, and I was getting to meet new youth and stuff like that. And while we were talking with the other youth, the guy that I had seen earlier, he turned around, and I happened to look up at that same moment, and we kind of just looked at each other for like 2 seconds, and we smiled at each other, and then we turned around. Well, he turned around, and I looked away because, of course, he made me nervous. He was so cute. And so, yeah. So I thought that he was very handsome. Well, this was the guy that I had seen earlier with the girl, so I was like, oh, well, this guy is just looking at me and smiling because he's trying to be nice. But he has a girlfriend, so nothing there.
But I didn't have a girlfriend.
But he didn't have a girlfriend. So that was my first impression on this boy. What was your first impression on me? Why'd you turn around?
Alright, so I just remember, you know, I didn't make it to the Sunday school service in the morning at 10 because I woke up late. So I was running late that day. So I know I got there a little bit before 11. So usually when I got there before 11, I do not want to disrupt when I walk in. So, and they were still having class that morning still. So I didn't want to walk in and, you know, everyone just turn around to look at me and like, oh yeah, he showed up late, or, you know. So they have like this little sofa at the entrance. And I just decided to go take a seat there until, you know, that Sunday school service or class, whatever you want to say, it was over. So, well, I was just sitting there, and well, at that moment, I still hadn't seen Michelle because, I mean, she was, you know, sitting in the front. But, so I just took a seat there on the sofa, and this girl just came up to me. Well, she was a friend, you know, and she just came up to me to talk to me. And I just remember when after the service, the class was over, I just remember Michelle getting up and walking to the restroom. And I just remember, you know, she had those high heels, and you know, every time when a girl walks on high heels and on concrete, you know, it makes that noise. Well, I just remember hearing up that noise, and I look up and I'm like, wow. I was so
but you hadn't
so
seen
shocked.
my face, right?
No, I haven't seen your face yet.
The back of me.
I was just shocked. I just saw you from, you know, pretty much your back, but I just saw, you know, that body. Ooh. But yeah, I just remember seeing her, so yeah, I was very shocked. So throughout the service, you know, well, I just went and sat down, and I just remember during the service, I just happened to just look back, and she looked up at the same time when I looked at her, and we just smiled. And then when I saw her smile at me, well, I just got nervous, so I just like turned around real quick. So I was like, oh my god,
yeah, it was
she
so
just
quick.
like smiled at me. I was like, wow. But yeah.
But what was your first impression? What did you, whenever you saw me, like those
Like
2
face?
seconds?
Those 2 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow. She's
Did
like,
you think anything of it, or?
I was like, wow, she's so beautiful. But you know, at the moment, I didn't want to, I wasn't really thinking about, oh, I want a girlfriend or anything, you know. I wasn't really looking. So I just thought you were like really, really cute. And I just remember my mom, you know, throughout the service, she like hit me with her elbow, and she was like, hey, there's this cute girl here. You should, you know, go talk to her after the service. But, you know, I'm usually really shy. So, you know, obviously I didn't go up. But I did smile at her. And I guess that one smile, you know, I guess that's all I needed to be done to, you know, get Michelle to like me.
Oh, hold on, let me... Okay. So after the service, I remember that my mom called me and she's like, so were there any cute boys? Because I wasn't looking, but you know, growing up in believing what we did, we were hoping that I would find somebody in the church or at a church. So they asked me, my aunt and her, they asked me, so was there anybody? And I was like, well, there was this guy, but he had a girlfriend. And so I definitely did plan on going back to that church, but it so happened that I was going to, like I said, I had previously been going to another church. So they were gonna have, it was like almost the end of the semester. It was November 11th when I had gone to their church. So it was almost the end of the semester. So they were doing all these activities at the other church. And like, I kind of didn't want to just get up and leave. And it was at the same time as their church. So I felt bad to just get up and leave the other church and not finish like my responsibilities and what I was doing with my other friends. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna finish out with this church, and the next semester I'm gonna go to their church because I really did like it. I really did enjoy their church. So I didn't go back to the other church, but I did plan on going. And then it so happened that December 11th.
Yeah.
December 11th, I was walking my dog. I took him to the dog park and I was with my dog. And when I got back, I got a friend request. And it said Carlos Fernandez. And it was on Facebook. I had a friend request on Facebook from Carlos Fernandez.
And it was like after a whole month.
It was exactly a month. Yeah. Like exactly. So I remember I looked at the profile picture because I didn't know his name. So I looked at the profile picture and I was like, it's the hot guy from church. And I remember telling my friends and my roommate. And then I called my mom and she did not answer. So I called my aunt and I was like, hey, like this guy, the hot guy from church, he just friend requested me. Like, what do I do? And so like then my mom was talking to me and we were all talking about it. And they were like, well, like his picture, do something. And I was like, no, he has to like mine first. So he friend requested me and he hearted one of my pictures that I had just taken at the time. I had like a little photo shoot for my birthday and he had hearted that picture. And so I was brave and I went back and I hearted one of his pictures. And so he did it again to mine and then I did it back to his, and we were like that. It was like at 8 p.m. and I was like, oh my gosh, well, can he just message me already? Like, why are you playing with me? I was like, why is this boy playing with me? And so finally at midnight, guys, at midnight, I get a message that said, hey, with the happy face. And I replied,
yeah, you replied. You were like, hi.
Hi, with the happy face. But I let some time go by because I was like, no, this boy, he took too long to message me. But I replied. And that night, we talked all night till like, what, 4 in the morning?
Yeah.
4 in the morning. But the sad part about this was that the night he texted me, the day after, I was set to leave to LaGrange, like for the whole break, the whole month break that we get for college. And I always left. I never stayed there, especially if I had no reason to stay there. So I left. The next day I left. And he was like, oh, so we're just going to be talking. Let's get to know each other throughout this time. But it was like a friendship kind of thing. We kind of just hit it off.
Yeah, we were just, you know, pretty much just getting to know each other.
Yeah, we were getting to know each other. And that night, like, we realized that we hit it off. Mm-hmm. We had the same exact Chick-fil-A order. I mean, that means everything, right? And
she liked basketball.
Yeah, I like basketball. I was a Warriors fan, and he's Lakers, so we were contrary, but still. And we just realized we were both in college, like we both had these dreams. We were both just looking, and we both were believers. So we were both just like, okay, like this is a great, you know, it could lead to a great friendship and maybe something more, you know. And so, I mean, I was in hopes that, hey, maybe this could lead to something more. But at the time, I was just getting to know him. And like I said, we hit it off. Everything was amazing. And a week later, I left to Minnesota. And so that whole time I was in Minnesota, I was there for like 2 weeks. and we were still talking, getting to know each other. Everything was going great. And around the mid time that I was in Minnesota, he sends me a heartfelt message and he tells me that he was getting feelings for me.
So yeah, I pretty much just wanted to know, since I started feeling for her, I wanted to know how she was feeling, to see how, you know, if we were gonna, you know, be able to move our friendship to the next level or not, or if I should just back down and not get, you know, my hopes up. So that's why I just sent her a message, you know, just asking her how she was feeling, and I let her know how I was feeling. And, you know, I was lucky enough that she was feeling the same for me, exactly the same.
We were both.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he asked me, and he's like, well, I just kind of want to know where you're at and how you're feeling, because I'm starting to feel this way for you. I see you more than friends. And like, I remember I showed my mom and I was like, ah! I was like, oh, he likes me. And like, keep in mind, we had just seen each other a month before in person, and for like 2 seconds. We didn't get to hang out because I had left that day after. So this was all like virtual, just talking on the phone, getting to know each other, texts and stuff like that. But we were both developing feelings. And so I told him like, yeah, like I'm starting to get feelings for you, but I want you to know that if I date you, this, like for me, I'm thinking long term. And for me, I've already had 2 previous relationships, and I've said that this was going to be my last relationship. There was going to be no more relationships. I was praying that there wouldn't. I was praying that the man that God sent to me, that was it. That we were going to get married, and like that was going to be my life, you know? It's because we were compatible and God had sent that man to me. So he told me that, well, he was thinking long term too. And so like we both decided to give our hearts to each other, and we did that. So then January came around, and it was January 12th. I was back from Minnesota, and I came to College Station because he told me he was going to take me out on a date. And so I came back, and there was still some time left before school started again, but I really wanted to get to know him and finally meet him. And this was actually a whole nother month later. And I remember that when we first met, like I was so nervous. I was just so nervous, but we flowed, you know, right? It flowed. I felt like very comfortable with you, and I felt like I had known him. I was so nervous because I was like, well, what if he thinks I'm ugly in person, or what if he thinks the worst of me, or who knows?
Because this was the first time we were gonna see each other since that one time I saw you at church. So I was nervous as well. I wanted you to like me, so I woke up that day, I was, should I take her something? So I went and bought her a little gift. I was washing my truck, you know, because I had to make a good impression. So I was just doing everything I could, you know, just to get her to know that I cared about her, and that I, you know, that I actually really did like her. So yeah.
And so, like I said, we went on our date, and everything went awesome. Like everything went awesome. We really hit it off, and like we decided that we wanted to definitely like keep this going and growing and getting to know each other as more than friends. But this boy didn't ask me out till January 20th. Which I guess it was still pretty like fast, because we talked for like 2 months, and then on January 20th we started dating, like officially. And we got to know each other. Yeah, we spent almost every day together. I was living in College Station, and since I was a student there, I lived with 3 other girls. And he would go visit me, and he lived with his parents, but he would spend almost every afternoon with me, and then like around 9 he would leave. So it was like every day. I saw him every day. We spent so much time together. And I remember people would say like, stop spending time with him. You're gonna get tired of each other and this and that. But like, no, we didn't get tired of each other. Like, if anything, our love only grew for one another, and I learned to know what he liked, what he didn't like. And in March, on March 10th, he surprised me yet again, and we got engaged. That was a very quick engagement. I started hearing rumors from a lot of people that I was pregnant, that's why. And like, no, I wasn't pregnant. I was just crazy for my man. And so we got engaged. Yeah, my parents were totally on board with it. They're the ones who helped plan the surprise party, his parents. Our families got along. We got along with each other's parents. Like, everything was just like, you can tell that like it was a plan of God. And so and so fast forward a couple weeks, like after getting engaged, I remember I was sitting in my class and he texted me and he's like, okay, well, since we're engaged, when's the wedding? And I was like, what? Hold up. And so I wanted it to be this year, like May, June, just so we could have more time to plan everything. And he was like, no, like, let's get married in June, which was last year, June, which was a couple months from the engagement. And I was like, how are we gonna do that? Like, that's crazy. Like, we just met. Like, we need more time to prepare everything and everything. Like, no, not June. And he was like, yes, like, it can be small. And so we decided on September 28th. And then seeing that, we went to see venues, and the one venue that we really liked and when we got married, the only dates they had was November 2nd, right? And November 16th. And so I was like, okay, well, November 16th, let's go with that. And so yes, we got engaged in March, married in November.
And now here we are.
Married for...
4 months.
Yeah, you better remember, we've been married for 4 months. And
we have our house, we have a dog. So what else can we
yes, we haven't been married. Well, we have been married for 4 months, and we've been so blessed. God has blessed us tremendously. We own a house, we do have our puppy, and we're very happy with each other. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna say that every marriage is easy and that everything is perfect, because every marriage goes through things. So our marriage is not perfect, but it's very close to it. And my husband, he's been very great, and I know that this petition definitely came true. And I thank my grandma and everybody who was praying with me, because I don't feel lonely anymore. I now have my partner to do life with, and I'm very happy with him. And I definitely don't regret any part of this journey that we've gone through together. And it was fast. Carlos was quick and to the point, right?
Yes, I mean, I feel like people might say it's really quick, but when you know, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Since Michelle and I started talking, I told her, if I'm gonna date you, you're gonna be my last. And I guess when I made that big step, I guess that's when she realized that I wasn't playing around. But yeah, I just thank God, because now we have a home, and well, now I have a beautiful wife by my side.
Oh, thank you.
And I just want to tell her that I love her very, very much.
Oh, I love you too. So that is our love story. And as to our future plans, well, because we get this question a lot. Everybody, I guess there's always milestones in life, and everybody just assumes that it has to happen in that order, but sometimes life doesn't happen in that order, or who knows. So you go to school, and then you go to high school, you graduate, then you go to college, and then you get married, and then you have a kid. So everybody has been asking us about if we're gonna have a baby soon, or how is that looking. And honestly, I think our plans at the moment are I graduate in May, God willing. Who knows? You know how things are right now. But I graduate already this semester. And Carlos, he's still got 2 years of college. So I don't want to put too much pressure on him with a child right now. But also, I am not opposed to having a child right now. And Carlos is not either, right?
No, not really.
So, do you want a kid?
I mean, I guess when the time comes.
Yeah, so we both kind of just say, you know, like, it's God's timing. Everything in our life has happened in God's timing. So I always said I wanted to be a young mom. So if it happens, it happens. I'm married. This is my husband. If we have kids, we're married. Hopefully one day it'll happen. But we do want to have kids. 2, a max of 3.
Yeah, we both agreed on that.
Yeah, we both agreed on the number before getting married because you have to be on the same page. And yeah, we can't wait to see what God has planned for us. We're definitely happy together. And we are thankful for everything that's in our life, for everyone that's in our life. And I'm thankful for you, honey.
And I'm thankful for you.
So we hope you guys enjoyed hearing our love story, or how we met. And if you guys have any questions or anything, leave them down in the comments and maybe we can answer them for you about our story. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for my next video.
I'm gonna enjoy my pizza.
Bye.
Will you tell me you love me? How much? I can't live without you. I can't breathe without your